CMT Stuttgart, and I am today on the Pilot stand, and behind me I have one of my favorite camper vans at the moment. Now, as always, a live broadcast, please keep the language appropriate for a live broadcast. Of course, you can't ask anything you want to do, and if I asked something and I forgot about it, you can put it in the comment sections and I'll have a look at that later. Now I'm going to turn the camera around because nobody wants to look at me. I notice I've got the gimbal in the way again. I'm going to move the gimbal out of it away. Is that better? Yeah, the gimbal's still there, just a touch. I'll just move it out again, just a touch. There we go. Isn't that much nicer? Yeah, nice wide angle on that one. And why do I like this van so much? It's Pilot, not exactly my favorite brand anyway, but this one here really stands out. It's called the Atlas. What is good about this thing here is the height it's got inside. Now, it's on the Ford Transit basis, and as a result of having an extra 10 centimeters or so over the Fiat Ducato, it gives all of these extra possibilities, including, look how high that is up there. You're going to have to be an Olympic gymnast to get them today in bed. You do get a ladder though, just in case you're afraid of heights. But think about what it gives at the back. We'll have a look at the back in a moment. Storage all around, storage on the wardrobe down there. Just knock the lights off. It's got a toilet like that, proper toilet, and I say proper toilet because some of them Pilot ones got these ones that slide in and out, and then they get stuck when they're in, which probably isn't much good after you've had a particularly dodgy curry or something like that. Slidey door. Look at all of that space there. Isn't that brilliant? And I mean, there's one or two other camper vans I really like on the Ford basis. Dreamer's got one, for example, which is particularly nice as well. Anyway, huge kitchen, fridge down here. Let's go on now, have a look at the back of it, because this is where it really is outstanding. Look at all of that space, and that is thanks to the fact that it's gone up higher than the Fiat Ducato, which look at that, pretty good, eh? And I'll bring it into here just to make the point as well. You've got this here. This is where the batteries are kept. See, you could get there, in there, what? Okay, you think you get 500 ampere hours worth of batteries in there. These two here is probably, can't see what they are, well, it's 240 maybe, something like that in total. And there's your wardrobe from inside. So I think that is not bad at all. Gas cupboards down there, and on that it's a small gas cylinder, so it's got diesel heating as well. So I think that one there gets my seal of approval. Here's another one. Sorry. This character here has got the high roof rather than so it is quite high, but it's very similar inside. In fact, indeed, I shall take you round the back just to show you what it actually, this one here looks like. See, you've got this bed that comes down electronically, and this gives a massive amount of potential storage at the rear end, and you can just about get into that where it is. Another good thing about this bed here is that you can use it at any height. It's not fixed like many of them were in motorhomes. You can only use it at a certain position. That you can all there. Great amount of space in there. I know Fiat isn't the only company that does, sorry, not Fiat, Pilot is not the only company that does this sort of thing, but to my way of thinking, that's a really good solution for those who want to carry stuff around with them, and also use the vehicle for other uses potentially. Now, lots of people here, which does of course make it difficult occasionally getting into vehicles, such as this G740 GJ, and as people are in there, I shall walk off out. I thought it was going to be empty, sorry. What I'll do is I'll show you one or two other things here. This EuraMobil was introduced a couple of years ago by Fiat as a young brand. I use inverted commas there. I can't see the point of introducing all sorts of other brands if they're trying to do a vehicle but trying to do it cheaper. You've got to question how they're doing it cheaper, because most of the parts, for example, they're using the same boilers, they're using the same construction techniques, they're using the same toilets and everything else, the same fridges, etc. Where can they save money? Normally that is within the technical infrastructure, which is the expensive part. As I often say when I do videos, is that all you're getting from me effectively is the cosmetic stuff. You see what it looks like on the outside and not what it looks like on the underside. That is the only place, as far as I can see, where they can effectively save money. That one there in front of me right now, this 75T, looks like, I think, a delivery vehicle, and all right, we'll give that one a miss, I think. So EuraMobil is a brand of Fiat, but another brand of Fiat is Frankia. And what Frankia has got, now they're camper vans in my opinion, okay, the same as the Fiat camper vans. They are not up to much, but well, having said, I've just said one was absolutely brilliant, so yeah, I have made the point there on that one. But these vehicles here, some are outstanding, and I think perhaps my new favourite motorhome, certainly from this fair, is this one here, this A680 Plus, and it's not like the sort of thing I normally go for at all. First of all, it's the first time I think I've ever said an overcab vehicle was my favourite, and it's high, but it's got stacks of space inside. It's a real lounge model. I think that is particularly interesting. Here, I wonder if we can get in this one here. This thing is going to cost me 200,000 euros, and there's no one in. And wow, I really like these. I think this looks absolutely. I think it's, well, not only far too expensive. I'll never have the money for it. Maybe I'll buy a 35-year-old one or something like that. But oh, isn't that wonderful? And toilet in there. And not only is it looking wonderful, but there's a huge waiting list on the times that it takes to actually deliver. This one here is on the Mercedes. Delivery times on Mercedes aren't so bad, but it's a Fiat where you really do have to wait a long amount of time for delivery, and this, I'm not seeing any improvement in this at all. So I'll have another look at another Fiat brand, which is Le Voyageur, and this also, I don't really understand why they've got Le Voyageur and Frankia, which are very similar in demographics. Sorry, the end users very similar. The internally they are quite different. But these ones are based on Mercedes, like all Mercedes, but also sometimes they're on the Fiat basis as well. I can't see if any Fiat ones here or not, doesn't appear to be, but they're also quite same sort of price level, so slightly less maybe than Frankia, but very, very, very attractive inside. However, I'm more of a Frankia person, so I'd rather have the Frankia brand than Le Voyageur brand. Here's a new company called Allgäu Camper, and it's come up with this. And right next to them we have this company called Sky Up, and these are tents in the roof. Now, I'm not a big fan of tents in the roof, but this one here has a it's been tested, I think it's to minus 15, I might have remember it correctly. It's a winter tent, there you go, winter tent, and it's one of 2 tents which are can be used in winter conditions. Now I showed another one from a company called Xglue, and you can see their tents in, for example, the Bürstner Gallery and the Hymer Venture S, and that uses an air insulation system. So here I can see this one here is different, and it's said to be quite light at the same time. Anyway, I'll do a separate video on that later. It will have a bit more of a walk around now. Off-road centre, and here's a company called Wavecamper. I went to their production area, I hung around for 3 hours, and I was asked to wait in the corridor. And so if they treat me like that, how do you think they may treat potential clients? So I'd give them a miss. On the right, here's a company I'd never heard of before, this event, which is Essential Vans, but what they've got, look at that, immediately available. 7 vehicles immediately available. That is quite an achievement. I would point this one out though, that as much as I'd give them a miss just because of the way they treated me, I do have the nicest looking stand here. They've got very nice looking colours, the yellow and the black. That looks quite good. Carpol, another company I hadn't heard of before this event. Torn from Slovenia, specialise in vehicles with for use in the winter. They've got very good insulation inside, and it's a company at Buscamp. They do, like many companies now manufacturing camper vans, they did sort of buses for special purposes, and for example for people who were physically challenged in wheelchairs, etc. And they did them, then sort of branched out into doing this type of camper vans and things of that nature. But I was at their factory in the summer, and actually saw camper vans there that they'd manufactured for people in wheelchairs. I mean, it was very difficult to actually make it down, to lower the chassis of the vehicle. And anyway, I thought it was quite clever how they'd done. I still haven't uploaded the video. I will do eventually. Here we have a Rapido, and I'm now going to walk onto the Rapido stand. The reason I'm going to do this is because what I'd like to do is to actually show some of the dreamer vehicles which are down here. And above all, what I thought was very attractive, I'll show it to you when we actually get there. Incidentally, anybody wants a integrated motorhome, the cheapest integrated motorhome that I know of, that's for today's prices, is this one here. Is Itineo, and I shall now show you the price because I don't want to say it. It's the cheapest. $81,380. I don't know a single integrated vehicle cheaper than that. I'm not saying there aren't any. There may well be. I'm saying I don't know them. On today's prices, and I don't somebody sort of puts something up from like 4 years ago or something like that. Yeah, I mean today. Right now, this is Dreamer, which came out this month, shown here for the very first time, and I presume it will be available before long. It's this one here, this D51 Addict, but being on the Ford. Hello, Karen. Oh, from Mexico. Hello. Yeah, quite right. It's 81. You could have bought anything. You could have probably bought everything in the entire haul for that type of money. This vehicle, this D51 Fun Blue Addict, I think it's great inside. We're not going to get in now. Anyway, I've done the videos of it. It's really got stacks of space in there. And there's another one here. This is D51 Select, which is also good, but it's not quite as good as the Addict, in my opinion. It's got so much light, the storage, and once more, I hope this shows that I'm trying to be unbiased, because I didn't rate Dreamer vans at all not so long ago, and now I think it offers. Look at all that space, but the storage possibilities as well. I think that's quite great. Here, oh, there we have an E-van. Well, I would say it's a car. It's an electrical car with a tent in the roof, because let's face it, it's not really a van. Hello from Southern Illinois. Hello there. See, hello. And there we have Pössl. And now Pössl have vehicles which are available this year. That in itself sounds pretty ridiculous statement, but they do have vehicles for delivery in the summer, and if anybody wanted one, I also believe there's a choice of colour still, because many people are now buying vehicles and they don't know gearbox, if it's going to be automatic or manual even. I haven't got a clue what the colours are going to be. This is what is happening because of the problems on delivery in the market as it is right now. Isn't this all ironic that we've got these prices ridiculously much greater than the costs of inflation, like more than double what inflation is? The price of these things are going up, and anyway, that's the economic circumstances in which we are currently living. And I'll just show how these things here work, because I quite like the look of it. When I was driving around in my Mercedes 190D, I'd love to have some of these. Brands available this year will have postponed deliveries. Well, lots of people are. People write to me saying, well, they've been waiting for their whatever it is. Can I help them out? Well, the answer is, I've got a clue. No, I can't. What they do with this Mercedes here, they've got these boxes in the back, and the boxes have got this thing here, which is a bed, and the seats go down. And when the seats go down, you put the bed over the top, and the boxes, you see, include. There's a fridge in here. There's some water, including a dirty water, and there's some stuff for empty drawers. There'll be a battery in there as well somewhere. Oh, and there's your cooker. Sorry, I missed the cooker out. There's a cooker. Much better than what I had when I was driving around in my Mercedes 190D only 15 years ago, and putting up with well, it wasn't too bad. But I'd much rather have had something like this. Okay, Pössl. Now, Pössl, another company I didn't really rate much of, but I think they're also getting much nicer as well. In fact, Pössl's now a cheap brand, which is having to create cheaper brands because it's it's considered too good. Okay, I think I'll finish off here with Adria, and one or two of these Adria vans, these things here, which actually I did film this morning, so eventually the videos will go up. These things here really are quite magnificent vehicles, and but you're looking at getting them for 200,000 euros for them. But oh, wonderful inside, the way they look. It's sort of a look you wouldn't really expect from a brand like this. And I also think the design as well. And do I think pricing will flatten out? I can't find any of the camper vans anymore. Yes, I do think the pricing will flatten out, but the problem is this: in economics, it's based on supply, demand, and cost of production. They're the three factors: cost of production and distribution, and they're the three factors which are important. And today, we can't control the final factor, which is the cost of production, and the prices will only start to be reduced when the demand either slackens and the supply side improves. It requires both of those things to happen. At the moment, there is no indication of that happening. The reason there's no indication of that happening, start off with, there's still shortage of labour. Walking around here, I see advertisements for people to come and work for one company after the other. That's number one point. There's still shortages in some of the basic components. I mean, even a company like Truma, for example, was having difficulty making supplies. And so that's that's another really important issue. So I don't think that prices will drop in the near term. And what is also important, because on the demand side, because demand is still high, there's fewer new vehicles coming onto the market, the cost of used vehicles will also be high. And that, I think, is the problem. So I'm afraid there's nothing good there to report, unless you happen to own a vehicle and you want to sell it, in which case vehicles are... I was talking to somebody who, I can't remember what it was now, was it 2015 vehicle? He bought a used vehicle 2015 or 2014, and he sold it for more than he paid for it last year. Okay then, so that is, I think I'll leave it today. We've got in front of us a C86i from Rapido, which that is, I think this is a new vehicle, so I can't say what it cost in the past, but now it's costing 96,500 euros. So 100,000 euros by the time you pay for the insurance and put the fuel in it. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that of interest. Tonight I have a really interesting prototype vehicle, a cabriolet motorhome, which will appear, the Sky Dancer. I mean, I've done it in the past, but it'll be up, in the previous version, the version 2, this is version 3, which will be this evening at the usual time. So thank you very much. Thank you, thanks, regards to Illinois, and all the best from me in Stuttgart, Germany. Bye for now. I'll be up again with something similar tomorrow.